The guitar is an incredible instrument, am I right? You can play riffs and licks and solos and all that good stuff, but have you ever tried ambient guitar music? Just like the one you hear in the background right now? No? Then it's about time, don't you think? Well, I show you how you can record your own ambient guitar tracks easily by only using the stock plugins in your DAW. In my case it's Cubase, but I'm very sure that you have kind of the same possibilities in your DAW as well. So are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, I forgot to mention that you not only need a DAW, of course, you also need a guitar and a way to connect your guitar with a computer, with an interface, you know. And I assume that you already know how you can do that. If not, please leave a comment. Maybe somebody can help you out in the comment section. Good, the way I recorded this little guitar track here is by using my preamp, and the preamp only sends a very dry signal. There is nothing going on, no delay, no reverb, nothing. It's absolutely dry, listen. It's a clean sound. So I have an absolutely dry signal that I can work with. Okay, and what I do now is that I use the inserts effects in the DAW to create something like a guitar rig with an amp simulator and effects and all of that. And I'm starting with the amp simulator here in Cubase, and please do not underestimate this old thing. I know it looks really cheap and it has no fancy surface, but it's really powerful, believe me. And I'm going for a simple clean sound here, and shows a cabinet. That's totally up to you. All the settings are up to you. I'm only using the amp simulator to give my signal a little bit more weight, not to create a certain sound or something. You can do that, of course. It's up to you. I just want to have a bit more bass and also cranked up the volume a little bit so that the guitar signal is a bit more stable. And you still don't hear much of a difference. A little bit of drive maybe. But this subtle distortion can create nice ambient textures. So let's go on with the next plugin. It's a stereo delay, okay? The stereo delay has the main purpose to give the guitar a really long sustain, so that you play one note and it lasts for like a minute or so. And this is how I set up my stereo delay. First, I don't go for a wide stereo image. You can see it here with the panorama. It's pretty much in the center, more or less. But yeah, because I think it's not necessary in ambient music, and for me, it's a bit too predictable, you know. When you hear the delay 1 only on the left channel and delay 2 only on the right channel, it's too predictable for ambient music, in my opinion. So in this case, I have different delay times on delay 1 and 2, of course. So my goal with the delay times, with the different delay times, is to create like a rhythmic pattern. So you can see I didn't just copy the first value to the second delay. It's kind of different so that they don't overlap. Now it creates a kind of rhythmic pattern. And if you really want to go for that super long sustain, you have to crank up the feedback. I recommend to start at like 70, maybe 60%. In this case, I'm really going high to 95%. It almost never stops. But I turned down the mix value on both channels. It's the same on both channels because, you know, the rhythmic pattern. I don't want delay 2 sound weaker than delay 1. But I turned down the mix value just a little bit. So the delays don't have the same volume than the original note that I've played. Oh wow, I hope my explanations make sense. It's kind of difficult for me to explain all that stuff. I never think about it in that way, that I have to communicate these things. It's pretty new for me still. But if something's unclear, of course, leave a comment. And yeah, if you are interested in more of that stuff, in ambient music and all kind of music production stuff and composing and whatever, subscribe to the channel, okay? That's easy, it's free, of course, and it really helps me out. Thank you. So how does it sound with the stereo delay? And it goes on, it never stops. But you hear the rhythmic pattern that I'm talking about, right? That is not like linear, always the same, it always changes. And you can do that with different delay times. And now I'm going for only 2 more elements here in my effect rack. And the first one is obviously a reverb, but no, this time I'm not using Valhalla Supermassive. You can use Valhalla Supermassive if you want, but this time I only want to use a stock plugin that's already in Cubase. We have great reverbs in Cubase, but reverbs are not a big deal anymore nowadays. You know, you have a very good reverb or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in your DAW as well. So, and the second option that's still missing is like a spot for modulation or filter effects. And I start with this one, step filter, because why not, you know? Let's listen to it. Oh. Okay, when I'm setting up such effects, I'm very quick. I'm not a nerd, you know. I just go for some settings. You have seen just cranking up the mix so that you really can hear what the effect is doing, and then turn it down, mix it in, and change the filter here and the rate, you know. There is a cut off. The step filter here is pretty good, and you can also create your own pattern, but I don't think that this is really important and makes a big change, is a big deal here in ambient guitar music. It's just to create a little bit more impulses and sound changes. And of course, there are other effects, filters and modulation effects like phasers, flangers, tremolo, all of that you can try out, and maybe we'll do that in another video as well, kind of doing the next step, you know. But that's it with the step filter. Let's now check out the reverb. And this one is called Revelation. It's a very cool song by a German band called Fury in the Slaughterhouse. Can you believe that? It's a very old song from the early 90s, I think, or even 80s. Revelation, very cool. And a great band, by the way. Fury in the Slaughterhouse. And I think that was kind of the first reference, the first band reference I ever did on my channel. We talked about other artists like Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo, for example, a long time ago, but I never really mentioned bands and music I'm personally into, and I didn't expect it would be Fury in the Slaughterhouse. But, you know, I'm kind of getting off track. Let's continue. Revelation is pretty much self-explaining, I think. If you only look at it for a couple of seconds, you can see that it's very clear. And I'm going for 80% tail instead of early reflection. No pre-delay or something. And I changed the room size to 85 and changed the main time. Don't care about my exact numbers here, but I'm going for 100% mix value so that we only hear what comes out of the reverb and not so much the original guitar playing. Of course, you can reduce this value to 50 or whatever if you want to hear more your original notes. This way everything gets really washed out, but we will check it right now. Let's listen to final patch here. Well, I think it's kind of interesting that much of the original guitar tone still is coming through the reverb, the Revelation reverb. It seems to be a very good plugin if you're looking for a more realistic guitar ambient sound that's not totally washed out. And otherwise you can always go for Supermassive, Valhalla Supermassive. And if you decide to do so, I recommend the Andromeda setting, which has a slow attack on the reverb. It's very helpful with the guitar playing, you know. But the big question is, how can we record an ambient guitar track in the moment and forget about space and time, you know? I only need to switch off my microphone for that, turn on the monitor here and click record, and that's it. And we will do it right now. Before we do that, I thank you very much for watching. My name is Marcus and I hope to see you soon in the next one, because I will end this video right now with a little live session, recording session. Let's see how it turns out. Please enjoy. See you next time.